Welcome to Softcore History.
What is up? Welcome back to Softcore History. I am your host for the week, Rob Fox. I am joined as always by Jake Goldman, who was waving at the door, and Dan thought someone was in the door.
I didn't catch Dan.
I saw him look.
Yeah, I was waving at the camera.
Yeah.
To the people watching. Because they do.
Dan Regester's here as well.
I am. I was actually seeing if we were recording.
Oh, okay.
Not if there's anybody at the door.
I mean, you can see there, right?
I'm glad you checked that.
Mm-hmm. He checked the door. He was looking at the door. I don't care what anyone says. Door looker.
For your narrative, sure.
Yeah, all right. Why not? Yeah.
Is all that one of the Yuletide lads? Door looker?
Door looker, yeah.
Well, it's window peeper.
Window peeper and door looker, yeah.
Door looker.
Door looker is just through a keyhole.
It's just getting it.
Watching your daughter undress.
It would be daughter if you tell the story, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. Why not? Watching your 9-year-old boy undress. That's a more fun Icelandic Christmas story. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
And thank you, yes.
Please and thank you. Leave a review. That helps us climb up the charts. We rank every week, but always good to be higher. In fact, we just had a listener who said he was drawn to us. Well, he searched us, but then our name alone is what made him give us a click. So the more people that see our name, the higher we are on the list, the more listeners we get.
What was the bit he was talking about?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean,
shout out to him, but I don't remember.
Yeah, shout out to that guy, but I can't remember the bit he was talking about.
It was a John Paul Jones episode, right?
It was the episode, but so the bit, I would have to go back and listen. You said you were going to go back and listen?
I didn't do it.
But clearly did not, yeah. So I'm glad it was a good bit.
A little raid or something? I don't know.
Doolittle. It was about the Doolittle raid.
Do a little raid.
It was I guess my theory is that maybe we were talking about the Doolittle raid, and I mentioned that we bombed 3 factories that killed nobody because it was just literally it was a propaganda attack, which is fine and good. It was to show Japan that we could get them whenever we wanted to, even if we didn't get them very hard, and to show the American, to give the American people a dub. Yeah. But it really was militarily, it didn't do anything.
Also, last week I promised a piece of merch to the best review.
I was going to get to that.
Well, I have it pulled up right now.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to say, though, what happened is the Japanese were so pissed about the Doolittle raid that they went and killed 200,000 Chinese people.
That'll happen.
I think it was when we were Doolittle did a little too much, or so. That's what my mind went to, but I don't fucking know because I don't remember, and I'm probably
sounds like you fucking remember.
That's my thought, but who knows?
I think you're right.
Anyway, yeah, we had a little competition about who could leave the best review with regard to leaving reviews, and we have a winner.
You good? You seem like you're on speed right now.
No.
That was me slapping my knees.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing any knee slapping. I'm just moving like the ADD boy that I always am.
Okay. But yeah, I think we both agreed. Jake didn't get any input on the best review. It was just me and Rob.
That's fun.
Me and Rob.
Love not being included.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is kind of...
This
review will kind of tell you why.
It's the Jew one, right?
It was. So this review is from
Although
Fun.
the Jew part was not the funniest part to me.
No, but Fun 118118.
So it's a bot. Okay.
Probably.
It's a bot that knows us well.
It's a very curated bot.
It's a bot that's listened to softcore history for 100,000 hours and just generated a review. Yeah.
Reach out to me in the DMs, either at Softcore History or Dan Regester on Instagram. It's titled Rob Fox's Baby versus Baby Fox.
Now, would I presume that to mean, and I like that as well, I presume that to mean that he wants my baby to fight a fox kit, which is what you call a baby fox.
That actually checks out.
Yeah.
Like Tails from Sonic?
I guess. Tails is a prepubescent but somewhat mature fox. I think we're talking about...
Could your baby take Tails?
No, of course not.
No, Tails
the speed alone.
Yeah. Run circles.
It'd be like that scene in the first episode of The Boys where A-Train just runs through his girlfriend.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Teeth flying everywhere.
Yeah, he swallowed a tooth and shit it out later. I love that show so much.
Oh, man. I just watched the most recent episode.
I haven't seen that yet.
It gets better every episode.
I've seen the first 3 of the season.
Yeah.
The review says, a nerd and a wannabe playboy pretend to be friends with a Jew and created this show as an excuse to tell mildly funny anti-Semitic jokes and get away with it, which isn't far off.
Yeah. Honestly, the funniest part about that is you guys don't tell any of the anti-Semitic jokes.
Not a lot of them.
The bulk of them as are the bulk of most anti-Semitic jokes come from Jewish
Right.
people. Yeah.
Self-loathing.
Yes.
Yes. Also, I think the people got upset the most at Jack for anti-Semitism, not us.
What'd he do? I don't even remember.
Who knows? Who could remember?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't.
But either way,
Upset
slide in
people
the
don't matter.
DMs. I'll get you whatever piece of merch you want. I think we'll start doing this. Actually, we'll start doing this every week. I'll give you a piece of merch for the best review left. And,
Yeah.
we'll pick one every week and maybe do that at the end of the show now. But just
The
moving
end,
forward,
so that we
yes.
make them stay to the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you
Fair
don't know, you did it.
enough. And we also, by the way, have a Patreon.
We do.
One of our best episodes ever, I think, is going to air this Wednesday.
Game show episode 3.
Yes,
I think it went pretty well.
It's a real battle royale.
it is. It was down to the wire. I won't spoil who won like last time. Maybe
guys
I'm mad.
were-
Maybe I'm happy. We don't know.
You guys are always mad.
Always mad.
We're the angriest of the two teams.
Yeah.
Because Joel and Coop don't really care.
We
No.
did actually talk about this after.
You guys
this-
take it personal.
I'm there for Rob yelling. I don't yell as much.
Yeah.
I'm of the angriest of the two of us.
Right.
It's him. He gets all mad.
That's because Dan will just start giving clues when
That's-
they clearly don't know.
But okay.
I don't
Love you,
see
Joel.
anything wrong
Love you,
with
Joel. But Joel's not getting the clues.
Yeah.
yeah,
Coop might.
Coop might. That's
Coop
when he
might.
was like, okay, think about schools. Think about big football schools.
Midwest.
In what town they're in.
Golden
And
Dome.
Think
yeah,
of
like
the,
it's just
think of the
Jesus
first.
Christ, Catholic, Rudy.
They're
There's-
still not going to get it.
there's a leprechaun.
A hunchback lives in the chapel. That's
All I realized was we have to get rid of sports from
It's-
the game show because
yeah.
both teams are just terrible at it.
You'd think one of the teams, I'm not going to say which one, but one of the teams would be better at sports.
I would think you guys
It's
would be
us,
better at
yeah,
sports.
yeah.
I
it's
think it
us.
would be.
It is us. It's
well,
us.
as I said on that,
Absolute disgrace.
as I said on that show, and you can just hear the description of what we look like. We should know. Sports is one of
Just
those
sports.
things.
Yeah, I might cut a little trailer for that, but yeah, go ahead, subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/softcore history.
We got
$5
like
a month.
3 months of
We got a bunch
evergreen
of
content on there.
Great content there.
And it's all evergreen. Like everything we do, we try to keep relatively
We don't
evergreen.
talk about current events.
If we can avoid it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talk about current events from the past.
My brain hurts.
History
Yes.
is what we talk about.
Great.
And we have a good topic today. I told you when you walked in that I thought this was a banger. I thought this was a great topic.
I'll be real with you. I don't think the start of the show is that great.
Okay.
Dan hates
Wow.
everything we make.
Guess I'll have to pick it up.
You guys have been almost. Did I not get in on the meth?
What the fuck are you talking? I'm
Why are-
sitting.
what is-
I slapped my knee 3 times.
Why are you upset that we have enthusiasm?
Wait, he's
wait, no, I answered my own question.
Yeah.
Dan hates enthusiasm itself.
He hates that, but he also hates lack of energy. He wants a perfect little medium that he can be happy with, but that doesn't exist. It's like the middle class in America.
No, he
There is.
wants
the meathead speedball.
It's a sliver.
there is a sliver he's happy with, but the problem is he also hates being happy. So if we make him happy, then he will then be upset.
but then he's happy because he's upset.
Right. This is what we deal with. Did you just crash your car trying to wrap your mind around that logic, and you thought you'd be better off wrapping your car around a tree? Because that's what we deal with on a weekly basis.
And we love each other.
we do.
That's actually what happened to Ryan Dunn.
What, you were in the car with him?
Too hard of a math problem went through his brain.
No, he just heard
No, a
one
tree
of
went
our,
through his brain,
He
dude.
heard one of our Inside the TFM podcasts. And
Okay.
yeah.
Well, he died while I still lived in St. Louis, like 2010. But yeah, or 2011, something like that. But whatever. Anyway, we've got a great episode today. I'm excited for it. It's not ancient history or anything like that. It's relatively recent. I know. It takes place in the summer of 1889 in Chicago, Illinois.
Gang violence, huh?
Well,
What about Chicago?
No one's talking
what
about Chicago
about
enough.
Chicago? Yeah.
Home of the Harlem Globetrotters.
Like the other day,
That's right.
I dropped my baby on hard concrete, and my wife was screaming at me about it, and I was like, "What about Chicago?"
Do you know how many babies die in Chicago?
Yeah, and she didn't have an answer, and I was like, "Yeah, thought so."
Till
the
there's peace in Chi-Town.
It's the ultimate comeback.
Peace.
So, 1889 Chicago, a family moved in to a beautiful home in the Lincoln Park area of Chicago, Illinois. Do you guys know it?
I'm familiar with their music.
Yeah.
Hybrid Theory was a
R.I.P.
pretty good album.
Different Lincoln.
Chester, right?
Yeah.
Chester died.
Yes.
Chester, yes.
And then the other one
Fort
went-
Minor sucked. So
The other one went on to make a rap group that J.J. Watt exclusively works out to.
he listens to Fort Minor when he works out.
Of course he
JJ
does.
Watt's the fucking worst.
JJ Watt is actually the worst.
Captain
Like,
America.
as
really.
soon as he leaves the white lines of the football field, he's one of the worst people on earth.
Well, listen, it's 10% luck.
And I know
20%
he
skill.
gave money.
5% concentrated power of will.
God,
You definitely need to get those numbers right.
I
No.
can't do this. Can't do it. Now I'm displeased. Anyway, Lincoln Park's a nice area of Chicago.
Everything you say to him brings him one step closer to the edge, and he's about to break.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a few. It's just a few blocks from the lake. Blah blah blah. Nice area, and this was no doubt an exciting, happy experience for Dr. W.C. Rowe and his family. You know, they moved into a beautiful 2-story home in a gorgeous part of town during Chicago's summer, which is, I assume, what heaven feels like if you've ever been in Chicago in the summer.
Haven't.
Is it worth? It's like literally the best place to be in July in the United States of America, just for weather alone.
I'm going to say Michigan.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like the exact. I mean, yeah, it's literally the exact same thing.
Isn't Lake Michigan? No, it's Lake Superior.
No, Lake Michigan is what Chicago's on.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's Michigan.
Yes. So, Annie, I don't know if it makes the winter worth it, but for like 2.5 months out of the year, Chicago's weather isn't
Yeah,
horrible.
put on the rest of the year. 9.5 months. Who needs that?
You don't want it. Like, I have a ton of friends who live in Chicago just by virtue of being from the Midwest, and dude, my Facebook feed from, I don't know, mid-October to mid-April of my Chicago friends is just like, God damn it, it's snowing again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my dog died of frostbite while I was walking it. Didn't leave it outside. Its paws just fell off mid-walk, like a fucking hiker on Everest. It's just that city's a nightmare for most of the year.
Most of the year, too. There are dead dog carcasses just kind of like inside the sidewalk. Like they're kind of frozen to the sidewalk.
Yeah, frozen in there. Again, like Mount Everest, they can't grab them.
Right.
Like, you don't have enough time to bring the bodies down,
You gotta
so they're
get
just
inside
there.
yourself, yeah.
Now, Oklahoma, on the other hand, whose state bird is the dead dog, that's just accoutrement. That's just set dressing.
That's a mile marker.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You two aren't the first people to talk about that either. Like the fact that there's 1 million dead dogs just on the side of the road in Oklahoma.
So
Well, I mean, we've repeated this bit for quite a bit.
yeah.
Oh, maybe you are the only people I've heard say it then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
we probably are.
We're probably just rehashing it.
But yeah, so the family of 5 plus the housekeeper, they were excited to move in. Really just, a fun move to a nicer part of town, middle of the city, blah, blah, blah. This excitement, however, quickly gave way to horror. On their first night living in the house, the Rowe family, Rowe, his wife, his housekeeper, and their 5 children were awakened by terrible noises, bizarre noises, noises that had no explanation. What they heard that night, and every other night for the entire time they lived there, that they lived in their dream home, was a ghost party.
Ghost party?
A ghost party. Ghosts
Now, actual
having
ghost,
a party.
Actual ghost or
Or-
like a Timothy Dexter's wife ghost?
No, actual ghosts.
That's an old sea wench.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I may need to start kind of taking more risks with my investments like Timothy Dexter, the way crypto's going right now.
Yeah, buy cats.
I'm going to start buying cats and shipping them to the
Buy it.
Bahamas.
Yeah.
Buy bed
People will be like,
warmers
oh,
for
cat
Haiti."
coin? I never heard of that. Is that on Coinbase? Like, no, cats.
straight cats.
No, I've just been
I have
pressing
I have
cats.
10,000 cats on a boat.
Stocking up on coal.
It is not fiat currency at all. It's feline currency.
Mm-hmm. Just be a cat breeder. Why not?
Breed cats.
You don't breed them, you just capture them.
And they breed themselves.
And then breed them.
And then you throw them on a ship. That's just kind of the strategy that is tried and true.
To acquire something in mass and send it
Send it
somewhere else.
somewhere
Yeah.
Hope they pay.
Then you're an import-export at that
Yeah.
point.
So yeah, this home was haunted, not by evil spirits or spirits that quietly floated the halls and stared at you and then disappeared, but by just ghosts having a party.
Are these frat ghosts?
No, but that would be a great movie.
Frat ghosts.
What they heard was described as a horde of heavy-footed men running up and down their stairs and through the halls, hooting and hollering, moving parlor chairs, shaking doors, striking matches as if to light a cigar or pipe or something, and even firing off celebratory gunshots, like fucking Yosemite Sam.
Okay.
It just sounds like a frat ghost.
The more you talk, the more it
Right,
sounds like
they're
frat
just living
ghosts.
in a frat house.
Yeah, nothing says frat ghosts. More like smoking inside, throwing furniture, and firing off a random gun every now and then.
Right.
I've always thought about having like a modern ghost that I'd want to be roommates with. Like he choked on a Tostitos pizza roll while he's playing Xbox 360.
Isn't this something we did?
We'll get into...
We discussed this, I think, for Spare Better.
We'll get into why that can't happen, according to people in this very story.
Is there a certain date that ghosts no longer exist?
Kind of.
There's a cutoff.
There's a
deadline.
We'll get to it. Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
So I just can't have a ghost that died in like 2009?
No.
All right.
And we'll get to that.
We'll find the
Based on the logic of some of the people in this story. Okay.
I cannot wait for ghost logic.
Yeah.
And these people themselves, are they past the deadline?
If you're
Well,
alive,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that as well.
Okay.
What?
We'll get to all of it.
You said 1889?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But you see, for these people, 1889 is the present.
No, I see that.
Right. So it'd be like a ghost in 2022 to them.
Future ghost to them?
No, I mean, like, whatever. So that first night that they lived in the house, Dr. Rowe and his housekeeper went out into the house to find these intruders. Like, they heard the noises, they woke up, they searched the entire home. They heard people running up and down the stairs. They heard shouting and all this other shit. Searched the entire home with their little gas lamps. No one was there. Nothing was moved. But these noises were as real as they were.
Okay. So right now, I'm going to tell you, my wife would hate if we had party ghosts. Do you know why?
Why?
Because I'd try to party with the party ghosts.
Of course you would.
Yeah. And then
Who wouldn't?
That's me just every night until 4 a.m. like, sorry, babe.
Yeah.
Chamberlain's lighting a cigar again. I got to go.
You're just doing a line of like ghost blow.
Oh, dude, ghost blow. It's got to be the best blow. Or
You would also try to make them watch like found footage movies.
yeah. Oh,
Well, it's Jake's party too at this
yeah.
point.
Come on, they're in my house.
He's
They got to
hosting.
watch the Visit with me.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, we really got to go. And you're like, no, man, just hang around.
Do another ghost line.
No, he's like smoked it. He's like taking a couple giant rips off the ghost bong, and he's just like, seriously, dude, this movie is like fucking. You would not expect it to be as good as it.
Do you guys want to watch Beyond Majestic?
You would
about
just
the
be
lizard
James
people?
Franco in Pineapple Express, where you're like, I really hate lingerers, and then you would just keep trying to, like the ghost. You'd be like, nah, dude, it's cool. You just stay. But then like somebody who's a real life friend, you would try to kick out of your house.
I think I would exercise frat ghosts the best
What do you mean?
because they would be kind of fed up with my movie recos. And they'd be
Yeah.
like, all right, bro, we
Yeah,
gotta
they're
go
like,
haunt.
we gotta go, man.
We gotta go haunt balls, dude.
Well, if I could see you, you come back tomorrow? Yeah, maybe, man. I don't know. I got class. And then they're just, yeah, see you, man.
Balls for those at home is a UF bar, by the way.
I think everyone that listens probably knows that now.
I don't know.
We mentioned balls a
We've
lot.
mentioned balls before.
Yeah, but like,
It's a UF closet that serves alcohol.
It is a concrete block
I have
hallway.
never rubbed my fucking junk against so many guys as I had after
balls,
that.
yeah.
Why do you think it's called that? it is
guess.
actually, it's very funny. It was supposed to be a pool-themed bar. Not a pool bar, a bar where you play pool.
Right.
Just a pool-themed bar, and they just decided to never decorate it.
Well, they can't fit pool tables in there.
No, it's the size of this table.
It would be uncomfortable for them to put mini like pool table things on the regular tables.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, people were sitting on the tables. They were sitting on top of the benches and then on the benches.
you just don't sit in the bench.
Dude, I've never been in a more crowded bar.
It's great.
There were only like 100 people there.
you've never been to a Tallahassee bar.
Oh.
They're just trailers.
The in-between?
Yeah.
If you think balls is small, check out the in-between.
Good Lord. Yeah, I can't fucking deal with that. At some point I was just like, I guess I'm not drinking for a while because there was just no fucking way.
Oh, to get to the bar?
Yeah.
Yeah. R.I.P. Rock, by the way.
Is that a bartender?
He's a real one.
The
Dude,
the ancient guy?
Rocket balls pours them heavy.
Yeah, he pours that 50% grain alcohol whiskey.
Good Lord.
Real well. He's dead now. R.I.P.
dead.
Rock.
We are talking about dead people.
He would be a great ghost.
Yeah. And maybe he will be one day when he's allowed to.
Whoa. Oh, there's a fold. I like it.
Yeah. Dr. Rowe did not want to tell anyone about what was happening. This happened night after night. He did not want to mention it to anyone because he was afraid that everyone in the city would think he was fucking insane. Maybe not wrongly. He was determined, however, to get to the bottom of whatever the hell was happening in his house. Every single night, these raging parties would go on, and every single night, they'd go out into the halls, looking, trying to see anything. Everything was totally undisturbed. Doors were locked, no chairs were moved. Everything was fine. Nothing was broken, even when they would hear things breaking, all of it. So, one night, Dr. Rowe and his wife and the housekeeper get the wise idea, the clever idea, to hide out in like closets and rooms or whatever throughout the house. And then when they heard the party start up, they were going to pop out.
Cool.
And catch these fuckers.
Oh, like a kid trying to catch Santa Claus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally. So like they weren't going to wait. They weren't going to be woken up. They were going to stay awake. And as soon as they heard all this shit going on, they were going to pop out. And I assume that's as far into the planning as they got.
I hope the ghosts just kind of locked him in the closet so they could party longer. Like, oh, dude, the
They just
narcs
can't
are in the
fucking get out.
closet. Yeah, they just put a broomstick over the door handles or
Right.
whatever. That'd be good.
Do you think they put a keg in that closet?
Oh, the narcs are by the keg.
The cops!
I just like frat ghosts.
They push the ghost. There is actually a sketch on Funny or Die, I think, that's called Frat Ghost.
Oh,
It wasn't that good, though.
not as good as we could have made it.
Yeah. Because that was something I wanted to do for TFM back in the day, and it had already been taken. But I don't think my script was very good either, so it's fine.
I think Kenny Chesney should bring that keg out of that closet, including himself.
What?
Wow, that was a weird turn, man, but I get it.
Yeah.
No.
I'm saying Kenny Chesney's gay.
Live your truth, Kenny.
Oh. Isn't he married to Nicole Kidman?
I think
Is he
he's gay.
really?
Yeah.
Divorce, maybe.
No, they're married.
Good for you, Kenny.
No, yeah, he is the least gay fucking dude.
Sounds like
you
a
could
beard.
be. Oh, I'm sorry. The prerequisite for not being gay is being married to Nicole Kidman.
No.
Exhibit 1, Tom Cruise. I'm sorry. Like,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm sorry, he was married to Renee Zellweger.
That's it.
And that was it. Who's married? But there is a country singer married to Nicole Kidman.
Isn't
Probably
that
Tim Urban or whichever one's
Or Keith
Keith
Urban.
Urban.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the,
Oh, it is. Yeah.
It's the other
Keith Urban
Australian
is married
one.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's crushing it. Anyway, yeah. So they're in the house. They're hiding. They're up. It's the middle of the night. This shit doesn't happen till like midnight and shit. And they're ready. Okay? They're fucking ready. So in the closets or whatever throughout the house, they're waiting with their gas lamps. They're ready to pop out. That night, the noise started up a little bit differently.
Were they raw dogging and going to Pound Town?
Kind of.
Whoa, really? Okay, cool.
Well, there was a pounding.
Oh, no.
As the Rose and their wildly underpaid housekeeper at this point hid, they began to hear two men struggling.
They were wrestling.
The struggles got louder until they realized that what they were listening to was a knockdown, drag-out fist fight. An absolutely brutal beating, according to their account of the night. Two men just fucking wailing on each other.
Still sounds like a rouse.
And then, finally, a gunshot rang out. And then they heard a sack of potatoes of a body tumbling down the stairs dead.
Whoa.
So, for some
Chicago, a
reason...
big Wild West town?
Kind of. I mean, this was a little bit the West. I mean, it was kind of one of the gateways to the West or whatever. It's where all the trains went through. So if you're going out to the West, your train's probably going through Chicago.
Chicago is the gateway.
Yeah. So at this point, the Rose decided it was still a good idea to pop out and see what was going on after listening to just like God knows how many minutes of brutal physical violence.
I wonder what like the logic is there. It's like, well, it's there had to have been at least one conversation where they're like, it's a ghost gun, right? Like it can't possibly like get.
Well, they don't even know necessarily that it's ghosts yet.
Okay. That's actually terrifying.
Right.
Yeah.
For all they know, two real men are just like viciously beating each other. By the way, while their children are asleep.
Upstairs.
Upstairs.
Yeah. And the kids aren't. Did they tell? They must have told the kids not to leave their room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and the kids all heard everything too, like every night. So like everyone's aware. Of
Everyone's aware of
problem.
this situation. Okay.
Right. So this is the night that happens. And instead of just hearing a normal party where they could pop out and be like, "Get the hell out of here," it's fucking two guys just beating the fuck out of each other, and then one
is armed.
One finally, is able to draw his pistol and murders the other one in cold blood, and they hear that body tumble down the stairs. And then the Rows pop out, ready to catch whomever was in the act of murdering another person after surviving a brutal fistfight.
What'd they find?
Yeah, they found fucking nothing. No one was there. Ooh. Nothing was disturbed.
They found a hoodie and a pack of Skittles.
What the fuck? Come on.
Dan can make that joke because he lived in Orlando.
I guess. That's just what everyone there has, is a hoodie and a pack of Skittles.
Yeah. It's classic.
I don't know why they popped out at all at that point.
What else are you gonna do? Sleep in the closet?
Yeah, maybe. On that night.
No.
That's not the night you confront the ghosts.
What if it's a different experience depending on where you're listening? Though, like every time you're in the closet, it's that.
It does seem a bit, like this was catered to them. Mm-hmm. Like they knew.
It's like, oh, they're changing it up. We're changing it up.
Right. Not a normal party tonight.
Yeah.
So finally, news of the Holmes nightly ghost parties made its way around the neighborhood of Lincoln Park and then the city. It was huge news. On July 18th, 1889, the Chicago Tribune wrote, "They cannot be seen. They do not softly and silently glide all in white. On the contrary, they yell and fight and fire pistols and fall down stairs and do all sorts of mysterious, not to say diabolical things. The truth of the matter is that the Rowe household is the abiding place of a gang of ghosts."
Ghost gang.
Chicago's had a gang problem forever.
Fair enough. And a gun problem.
Yeah, clearly. I mean,
Gun violence never left.
Really, it's just waiting for that joke to make itself.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm
Gun.
weak.
What about Chicago?
Yeah, I mean, here we are.
Yeah.
Talking about Chicago and guns and violence.
The Tribune, by the way, believed the story. Now, I'm sure part of that was just to fucking
To sell papers.
get clicks.
Total
That's
rag.
Yeah. Right. But they said that they were like, well, they defended Rowe's credibility because he was both a doctor and a church deacon and, according to them, presumably a man of truth.
So a double liar.
Yeah, I was about to say, back then, all you needed to do was say you were those things. And
Right.
you were those things. Also, what is a doctor in 18? I can saw limbs.
Yeah.
I can let blood.
You just go from town to town and you're just like, hey there, people. What? It's like the Music Man,
The monorail, right? Yes.
Monorail.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, snake oil.
Just a bunch of tonics.
Yeah. I can carry Charles disease in 1, 2, 3. And then you just,
Put some leeches on them.
and then leave town. She's dead and you're richer.
Rich. Yeah.
They just have to be better for like 4 hours so you can get out of Dodge.
Yes, 100%. So you give them
Throwback.
you give them
Callback.
cocaine, and that they're like all vibrant and awake.
I love
And
that
happy.
cocaine was a sinus infection treatment for a long time.
Clears you out.
Oh, yeah. It fucking works.
Yeah.
It's just like, it also can make the infection much worse later
Right.
on. So you just have a cocaine
But that's the
habit.
thing. You've cured it for long enough for you to be in town.
Yeah.
And then you get the fuck out of there. They're way worse the next day.
Yeah,
Like
no.
they've done enough cocaine that they might just want to kill themselves.
Yes.
That next
But
morning.
then the
like, why
doctor's
do I
out of
wanna
town.
die?
Doctor's out of town. It's like, oh, the connection. He's not around. He would still be like
right. Oh,
okay if he
she's
was in
sick
town.
because the doctor left.
He's left.
Right.
Right.
What changed? Doctor here, she feel good. Doctor gone, she feel bad.
Good business model.
That's
yeah.
how Rasputin actually became important in Russia.
It is. He was
Yeah.
like drugging the fucking czar's kid, right?
No, he was like,
I learned this from the king's man.
He was like, oh, don't give him drugs. Let him pray. But it turned out the kid was, what do you call it? He's a hemophiliac.
Yeah.
They were giving the kid aspirin.
Yeah.
So he happened to fall upon like, hey, you're giving a blood thinner to a person with hemophilia.
Right.
Don't do that. But he didn't know that. So they all thought he was a fucking miracle worker.
Right. He's a wizard.
Yeah.
He was.
I mean, who's to say?
With that kind of hog.
That fucking tusk of a dick that guy had.
What if it was just like a rhinoceros horn? And they were like, yeah, no, this is his penis. This is his penis.
It's sharp.
Yeah, that's penis. He fuck people with that. So the Tribune believed the story, definitely not just to sell papers. Right?
Why would they do that?
The media would never back then. There used to be a time in this country where news was good.
Of course.
The
Integrity.
1880s.
Yeah.
So Roe's neighbors, by the way, also corroborated this story. It wasn't just the family. So Roe, he didn't want anyone to find out about this and think he was fucking nuts. He was a doctor, right? So a cocaine dealer, I guess.
Yeah.
And a deacon. So
Man
he
of
didn't.
faith.
Man of faith, man of science. He could do it all.
Didn't want any demons in his house.
No.
That's a bad look for a
He didn't want the
pastor.
congregation, to be like, that man's got demons.
Actually, yeah, that would be a bad look for him.
It
It's
would.
like, why can't you get rid of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought you were a miracle worker.
Helen.
Like, you're not calling him for an exorcism.
It's like, can't even exercise his own fucking house.
dude.
This guy's a hack.
Yeah, take care of your own fucking house, pal, before you start preaching to me.
Yeah, I don't care if my fucking daughter's spewing bile and walking around on all fours.
Yeah, I heard you got your own ghost problems. Why don't you just shut the fuck up and deal with that, Doc?
We're going to just strap her down and not feed her.
Yeah. You start praying for yourself, you piece of shit. But Roe didn't want anyone to know. He was like, God damn it, everyone's going to think I'm insane. They're going to think I'm a shitty deacon. Whatever. His wife, on the other hand, was like, oh my God, you guys got to spend the fucking night and hear this shit. It is wild.
Women.
Yeah. So she would go to she said all this to the neighbors, and she was like, they were like, no. And she was like, dude, spend the night. Spend the fucking night. And she had them spend the night, like multiple of them on different nights. And she had them spend the night.
Did they go in the closet?
And they were all like, oh my God. What the fuck is happening in your house? All of them were like, no, they're not lying. I heard it. I heard the party. I don't know what it was. We popped out. We waited. We popped out. No one was fucking there.
Were they with them?
Who?
Were the neighbors in the closet by themselves?
That I don't know, but I assume they were together.
Okay.
When was the record player created?
I think you know the difference between what's being played on it was around this time.
If you didn't know it existed, you don't.
I don't know.
Dude, they jumped out of the way of a train coming toward the screen when they
was the
first saw that in
phonograph
theaters.
created?
Stay woke.
1877.
Oh, so it's brand new.
No, it's not. It's 12 years old, and this is a major city.
Brand new then.
It's a major city. Absolutely not.
Okay.
There's no such thing as a major city back then except New York and San Francisco.
Over 1
made
million
him mad.
people live in Chicago in 1889. That is a major city.
Gotta get those numbers up. Those are
Yeah.
rookie numbers.
Oh my God, I fucking can't. So anyway, the phonograph had been around for a while. Whatever.
So says you.
All right, fine.
I like what Dan's putting down here.
I'm just asking
putting the needle
questions.
down, dude.
Just asking
Just asking questions. I get it. That's fair. That's the only position to ever be in because you don't actually have to answer your questions.
No.
You just ask them, and people are like, "Ooh, the wise man asked another question, an unanswerable question."
Yeah.
It's my favorite. One of my favorite bits from like early Family Guy is like, oh, like they're looking back on their family history, and one of Peter's ancestors is like a philosopher in Ireland, and the little wife is like starving, the kids are starving, and she's like, "Please, you have to get a job," and he's just like, "Why?"
I'm a great mind.
Right? Yeah.
That's the thing that like you figure out reading a lot of philosophy books pretty early on. It's like, were these dudes just like sitting around jerking their brains off?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't have jobs. They're unemployed.
No, it wasn't like
They're unemployed until they can convince some idiot to pay them.
And
a
it's
ton.
also like everything that was written back then is common sense that they just put on paper. Like the art of war.
It's modern. It's modern art, basically, for its time. It's like, well, yeah, everyone fucking knew it. It's like, but yeah, I wrote it.
but I wrote it.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like the art of war. It's like, if your enemy is making a mistake, let them.
No
Yeah,
shit.
Fucking genius.
Or like, yeah, for example, but let's go even beyond that, like Homer. Homer wrote the Odyssey and the Iliad.
Yeah.
Wrote them. Those were
Oh, those stories existed for a long
spoken
time.
stories. Homer didn't do fucking anything.
Yeah. No, but he documented it.
Right.
well,
And then
didn't make it up.
Johann Gutenberg made it more widely available.
Yeah, it's honestly, it'd be like if someone like transcribed our podcast. And they were like, wow.
This book
look.
is dog shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be a terrible book. So yeah, all of Roe's neighbors corroborated this story. They were like, yeah, something is fucking going on.
I know. If you read our fucking podcast, you'd be like, they gab too much.
They gab, too much gabbing.
Too much gab.
That joke is for one
Gab,
person that
gab.
doesn't listen.
No, it's actually all over our reviews now.
Yeah.
Oh, people
do.
have caught on to that one?
One review is just gab, gab, gab.
It's probably Courtney.
No, it's not.
No, we're making fun of Courtney.
I know.
Supporting.
Making fun of my wife.
She won't hear it.
She won't hear it.
She won't. She doesn't listen to it
No.
because we gab too much, like right now. Just keeps her away.
I got nothing. I don't know what you're looking at.
No, what I do when I need to watch just like really weird porno in the house is that I play the gabby sections of our podcast. It's like a mosquito candle. You know what I mean? It just keeps her away from the area.
Right.
And then
You better be careful. My wife listens to it, so
Yeah.
she'll tell her.
It doesn't matter. In the middle of your wife telling it to her, I'll play the podcast parts where we gab.
Courtney will leave the room.
Yeah.
It's like saying Skull and Bones.
Yeah, and they have to get
Gets
the
up
fuck
and walks
out.
away.
Yeah. It's just me being like, I was at the store the other day, and Courtney just has to run out of the fucking room.
Just dives
And
out
you're
with
like, oh, bro, stores fucking hate them.
it. Stores suck.
Yeah, and she just has to get the fuck out. And I don't blame her because that's horrible, horrible gabbing. But yeah. You done gabbing?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get back to the script here. So presumably at that point, by the time Dr. Ho's wife was inviting people over, he was just like, fuck it, whatever. I literally can't sleep every night. I'm afraid a ghost is going to pop into one of my teenage daughter's room and just do fucked up shit. Like, invite the neighbors over, whatever. So the story was published in the Chicago Tribune, and it immediately captured the imagination of the neighborhood and of the city. So much so that the first 2 nights after the story broke, thousands of people showed up outside of the row house to try and get a glimpse of the ghosts, to try and get a show.
Okay. Did they get one?
No.
Because it's fucking fake, dude.
No, it's real. Corroborated by multiple people.
That also want people to look at them? Yeah.
What
I
do
don't
the
believe
neighbors
this.
have in it? I don't even know their names. Their neighbors weren't mentioned. The neighbors didn't get their name in the story.
Zero clout for the neighbors.
Zero clout.
I'm saying, but it's possible clout. We're talking about clout potential now. Like, what is it? Like inertia, right? You have potential clout and you have active clout. You got to get in on the potential clout before it's active clout, because then you're a clout chaser. But if you get in on the ground floor, then you're just a clout creator.
No. If the clout is not around, then the ghosts were found.
Yeah, but we are living in the clout creating economy.
Oh, yeah, we are in a clout economy. Of course.
It's all about the clout.
You just pay people in clout. That's the mistake people make on Craigslist, where it's like, need a graphic designer, can't pay, but great experience.
No, get that clout.
Yeah, what you need to say is can't pay or will pay in clout.
Right. Any internship isn't unpaid.
It's clout.
It's clout.
Think about it.
It's like you're not a grinder. You're not a hustler.
Sorry, you don't
All
have
right.
to pay taxes on clout either.
Okay, so I'm not going to give
Not
you,
yet.
I won't give you 10.
They'll try.
They will.
They'll try to collect on clout.
Don't point at me like that.
See, there's the anti-Semitic joke.
Yeah.
But whose joke was it?
Well, no, I'm
Because he was pointing at you.
I'm pointing at him.
But you assumed it was
because
anti-Semitic.
he's a Democrat.
I'm not a Democrat.
Well, whatever.
fucking lib.
Yeah. You don't know what I'm registered.
You're only in Texas. You're only registered whenever you voted in last. I think.
Oh, you can change it, though.
I know you can change. You walk in, you just tell them which primary you want to vote in. The other day, I told someone I mostly vote in Republican primaries. I told someone who's a Democrat that, and they're like, "Why would you do that?" And I'd be like, "Well, because those are only races that fucking matter half the time.
That's true.
Why the fuck would I vote in a Democratic primary unless I was very invested in that candidate?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like,
Why would I ever vote in a Democratic primary here? Except for like if it was like a city candidate.
Sure,
or like the
yeah,
thing I
it's very-
cared about most was the city primary. Then yeah, I'd probably vote in a Democratic
especially in
primary.
Austin, yeah.
But if it's a statewide office or a county office,
oh, dude, yeah.
it's fucking.
Railroad commissioner, do not vote for, like, why get in on a primary?
What, there's no
The
point. The
Democrats said that.
real,
Yeah.
like 3/4 of the real elections are in the Republican primaries.
Yeah. No,
So
it's
yeah,
very
that's
true.
why I fucking vote in Republican primaries.
So you're just throwing a wrench in the whole machine. Huh?
That's why Trump was a registered Democrat for so long, because it's fucking New York.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. It's just pragmatic.
Can you vote in the primary if you're an independent?
What, here?
Yeah, you just pick which one you're
Yeah,
voting.
they're like, you literally walk in, they're like, Democrat or Republican?
well, you get to pick which, even if you're registered as a Democrat, you
Yeah.
can vote in the Republic. You just can only vote in one.
Yeah.
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 You don't get to play both sides?
No. So that they can't.
That would be
They can't like
problematic.
flood it for Marion Williamson or something or something.
Hey, you be nice to that sweet old lady that told us crystals would fix the economy, okay? I'm sorry. That lady was great. That was the best fucking... Never interrupted anybody.
She was very nice. Very nice.
I would let that lady just, like, be my grandma.
Yeah, I mean, I preferred the guy that wore a boot on his head. I think his name was
Vermin Supreme?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a northeastern Canada.
Our Rat King. He was just New York, I thought, right? Was it something like
He wasn't
that?
running for president, was he?
No, he was like mayor. Oh, maybe it was president. Whatever. So thousands of people showed up outside the home. They didn't get a show. But not everyone was convinced that ghosts haunted the Rowe home.
Me included.
Yeah, apparently you fucking skeptic. Look, ghosts are real. Do you believe in ghosts?
No.
Do I believe? No.
You don't believe in ghosts?
I believe in ripples of dimensions and time.
Okay.
Bingo. That's my boy.
That's just a ghost by another name.
You ever play BioShock?
No.
Okay.
Would I like it if you're into that sort of stuff?
You would probably love BioShock.
I need to play BioShock.
You would also probably play it too high one night and like not be able to sleep.
I mean, I do nothing very high at night, and I'm not able to sleep, so might as well play BioShock.
This is actually a BioShock tattoo.
Kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little steampunky, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's just the lighthouse from BioShock Infinite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never played it. Never will play it.
Cool. Yeah, you have a kid. Why would you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, no. Doesn't make sense. But yeah, so the story caught wind across the country, kind of like a Florida Man story. You know, just like a local interest story that's bizarre and then spreads across the country.
It's
and
a Mad
like,
Lib.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, look at what happened here.
Because Florida Man's not real.
Florida Man's a Mad Lib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's whenever...
Well, it's not even
slow,
it's not even a Mad
slow
Lib.
news day, just create a Florida Man story.
It's not even a Mad Lib. It's Florida Man, and then it's just blank the rest of the way. You fill it in.
It's the manatees picking out the verbs.
Yeah. From South Park, where
Yeah.
they just float in and like.
But it's manatees, which is even better.
Yeah.
That people jump through. Florida Man jumps through those manatees.
Yes. You know why Florida Man exists, right?
Yeah, it's the laws.
The sunshine laws.
Yeah.
No, it's like they wouldn't have those stories if it wasn't for that.
Or if more states had that.
Oh, it'd just be American Man. It would be American Man. Yeah.
I mean, look, like, yeah, Arizona, any redneck state.
Ohio as well. Has
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Well, no. Darius from Atlanta taught us that Florida Men exist to keep black people from moving to Florida.
Right.
I would believe that, actually.
That I have seen. That season of Atlanta I have seen.
The one with the alligator?
Alligator Man.
Where he's just beating a flamingo to death. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a good one.
It is. So as the story became syndicated in papers across the country, one paper in particular read this story and said, nuh-uh, no. This house isn't haunted. This house isn't haunted because there can't be ghosts in Chicago.
Is this where the date comes into play?
Yes.
Hard
Rochester,
deadline.
New York's Democrat and Chronicle took major issue with the story.
Were they offended by it?
The issue was Chicago wasn't old enough to have ghosts.
I love the clap back with like also nonsense.
Right.
It's fucking
it's
bizarre.
just like two idiots with terrible logic screaming at each other.
Yeah.
I kind of like their logic, though.
So
Dude,
I
that's
know
like-
you would. This is actually a very much a Dan take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it would be.
I think it's kind of like the Hall of Fame. Like a certain amount of time has to pass before you can become a ghost.
Okay.
So do you think like you just sit around in like purgatory or whatever, and then you get to be a ghost?
You get
Like,
tagged in.
You're waiting for the like St. Peter comes out. It's like, all right, Jeffrey McKenna, you get to go.
You gotta actually
hunt."
do your time on the oceans. Just kind of
You gotta
Floating
float
through
the oceans?
nothingness.
gotta float the oceans.
All right.
Or do you get to walk to the bottom and at least see the shit?
No.
Oh, boo.
You just create the fog.
You're
So
just the morning mist.
Chicago had been incorporated in 1837. At that point, it was barely 50 years old. Although people lived there longer than that. But yeah, I know, right?
Major metropolitan city.
Ski. I know. So 50 years, by the way, that means that a ghost could not exist after 1972 in Rochester, New York. Well, we'll get into a little more here. So not nearly enough time for ghosts to take root in the city.
I mean,
Not
have you
old
heard of
enough.
a 90s ghost? I haven't.
I have. Yeah, I've heard of 90s ghosts. And also, in the 90s...
Like he's rocking a jean jacket?
in the 90s, you heard about all the time. Like, I remember growing up as a kid, you'd hear about ghosts from the 50s and shit. Like
You did.
Yeah, you'd hear
I
like
can get down-
Johnny and Janie
With that
were
one?
like at makeout point, but they accidentally parked on the train tracks.
Right,
and
like
they
a
couldn't-
greaser, I can get down with as a ghost.
But for the
the greaser exemption.
yeah, you got slick hair. You're good to ghost.
leather jacket.
You snap when you
You
talk.
have like a switchblade.
Right.
Yeah,
and you,
comb blade.
And you accidentally got your car, dude. One of the number one ways I thought a person could fucking die as a child was your car getting stuck on the train tracks. The
like
amount
you
of,
couldn't just get out.
the amount of stories you heard about that, where it's just like, oh man, I was like, I'm never driving over as an 11-year-old. I was like, driving over train tracks, no fucking way.
Mine was I thought people got electrocuted in the shower during lightning storms a lot.
Oh yeah, I still believe that.
I mean, that sounds like a way a lot of people in Florida would die.
Is that not accurate?
You can. It's extremely rare. There's like a very rare chance of that happening.
What about a pool?
Well, you shouldn't be in a pool during a
during a
lightning storm.
thunderstorm? Yeah.
What if I'm waving a golf club in the air? I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, what if I'm playing pool golf
I've just wrapped myself in aluminum foil and I'm swimming around in my backyard.
with my toaster?
yeah.
Got my float toaster, my floaster on the boogie board.
That'd be a fun game. Like you're just throwing like live car batteries into a pool and someone's with a lacrosse goal stick and they've got to just fling them back out.
That would be a
before-
fun Mario Party minigame.
Yeah.
Where it's just like roaster,
no.
just roaster toast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just like a 90s ghost listening to grunge.
But you don't believe in a 90s ghost, even though that ghost is like 30.
I don't believe in ghosts, but like if there was ghosts.
Okay.
90s ghosts would be kind of cool.
So the Democrat and Chronicle, they used the tried and true scientific method of just pulling a guess all the way out of their asshole. And they declared that a city, and I think they took offense, by the way, because they were much older, like they're
Sure.
pre-revolution, I believe. A city can't have significantly matured to have ghosts until it's existed for at least 100 years.
So that's based on what? Nothing? They just said that?
They were like, 100. Yes. I mean, yeah.
because they had at
They
least
just
100 years.
arbitrarily were
Yeah.
like, it's got to be 100.
They were just jealous they didn't have a
wasn't that-
ghost.
It wasn't
Yeah.
that there was a ghost party happening or anything like that. It was that it just you couldn't do it in
Yeah.
less than 100 years.
Right.
It needs time to bake, right? You can't bake a cake in 3 minutes.
Right. They always try it on Chopped or like any cooking show on the Food Network, and it always fails. You
Yeah.
never have enough time to bake that cake.
No, you got to let it
Man.
rise.
And then
be
you go to the fucking ice cream machine, and somebody else is there, and they only have one ice cream machine for some reason.
That'd be a good sketch.
Pressure.
It's just trying to make a ghost that sticks. So they just have to die horribly. I mean, really, you just put someone in a leather jacket, play doo-wop, and leave them on train tracks
Yeah.
with a woman.
Yeah. Let's put like Jan and Dean.
Yeah,
on.
in a pool
Yeah.
skirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Sandman. That's playing, and then a train just rips through them,
It's like A-Train in that first episode, man.
pretty much.
Yeah.
50s would have been dope to live in for like 10 years.
The entire decade?
Yeah, I don't want to be in Vietnam.
That wasn't in the 50s, so you're in luck.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like I want to exit.
For the 10 years of the 50s, the entire decade?
Can I give you a
Oh, you're
hot...
saying you'd
there
like to
was
live in
no,
the 50s then
So there was
bounce.
no draft for Korea, but I'll give you a hot take. Being in Korea might have been just as bad.
My grandfather said Korea was the best time of his life.
Your grandfather was a fucking pogue, as they say.
He fixed planes.
Yeah.
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 He played basketball on bases. That's all he said he did.
Your
What if
grandpa
you're-
went to camp.
Yeah, he went to summer camp. Fixed planes.
That's great.
But to be fair, he gave up being drafted by the Dodgers to go to summer camp.
Which is real stupid.
Your grandpa went to Camp Korea instead of having a professional baseball career?
Yeah.
What was the logic in that?
He was afraid that there was a draft.
So he went.
So,
he
yeah,
beat it
because-
to the punch.
Yeah,
No, a lot of people did that because if you get drafted, you have less control over where you go.
So he he chose the Air
okay.
Force, and then I think a week later, as he signed up for the Air Force, he got drafted by the Army. So he just went with the Air Force.
Yeah.
Oh, word. Okay,
That's why a lot of people like brag about enlistment numbers during like World War II and stuff like that, but there was actually like a material benefit to you to enlisting.
Okay, I actually did not know that. So
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
want to
makes sense.
control your destination.
It's always the same destination.
And same with
isn't it?
same with Nam too. So like if you enlist, you can be like, yeah, you give me the. Literally, it's just usually give me the Air Force or the Navy.
Yeah,
I guess.
because you're not on land half the time, or
Well, yeah, not a lot of naval battles in Vietnam. Joining the Navy was not a better option in World War II, I don't think.
couldn't have been. Especially with the Pacific.
If you're in the, that sounds like a fucking
And
nightmare.
the U-boats.
Yeah, dude. Oh, also.
They weren't really.
The threat of them was very real. I mean, it was
That would
terrifying.
just creep into my brain all the time.
yeah, it's like,
we had the Atlantic pretty much under control by the time we got into World War II in earnest. But
still,
the Pacific was a nightmare.
But yeah, I guess the threat of air and also underneath you. That would just,
not great. I would have rather been in the Army than the Navy and the fucking. And there was no Air Force. There was the Army Air Corps in World War II. By the time your grandpa was in it, there was an Air Force. But, but yeah, so there was an explanation, kind of a non-supernatural explanation for what may have been haunting the Rose.
Oh, did we have a myth buster go in?
No,
Ghostbuster?
no, not even close. But there was something else. So, by the way, Dr. Rowe never believed it was ghosts, but I think he never wanted to admit that it was ghosts.
right.
Bad for his brand.
Bad for his brand. Everyone's always had a brand, by the way.
Right.
Millennials didn't invent having a brand.
No.
We branded brand.
Brands.
Yeah.
We put a title to it.
Yes. We branded branding.
You name the demon, you control it. I mean, that's the truth, though. Like, you say its name, you get more control over it. And what do? We created careers out of it. Instead of just being a fucking product, we decided, hey, we can at least master this a little bit. So suck on that, boomers.
All right.
Yeah.
You bitches. So the property the entire time, the Rose were renting, by the way. They did not own it. It was in the midst of a legal battle between the woman who rented it to the Rose and the widow who used to own it, Nellie Wilson. Now, the real estate agent who was part of the...
that was a backup job back then, too?
Real estate agent?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a safety job.
Yeah. So the real estate agent who was representing the other woman, not Nellie Wilson, the woman who currently owned the property.
Right.
Frank Turner, he basically said, I almost said this was a real quote because they put it in quotes, but it's not the real quote. To paraphrase him, he essentially was like, of Nellie Wilson, he was like, I don't know how, but this bitch is responsible for this.
And that's a direct quote.
Yeah, direct quote from Frank Turner.
And that's...
Yeah. So he heard
I don't
all
know how, but that bitch did.
Yeah. He heard everything, like a big ghost parties, men running up and down, a brutal knockout, drag down fist fight between two people who disappear, and a murder, and it's all gone, never there. Frank Turner was just like, yeah, I know the stories, and I don't know how, but she did it.
And so this is the person that currently owns the property, or the widow?
The widow who previously owned it.
So
but there was a dispute over it and the sale and the legality of it, and Nellie was upset that she no longer owned the property.
Okay. Got
And
it.
allegedly wanted to get the Rose or anyone who would have been renting it out of there.
So she may have cursed it.
She had motive.
Okay.
She did have motive.
Did she have the resources?
Well, that's the problem, is that the Rose were like, no, dude, we are hearing literally dozens of ghosts get drunk and fight and smoke and murder each other and roughhouse every night. Like, an old widow couldn't do this.
Yeah.
She's just under the floorboards.
Marionetting the house from above.
Just banging.
Just doing a bunch of different voices, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just going bang.
She bought a phonograph.
Yeah. Under the
But
floors.
first took it into a saloon, recorded the saloon night after night, and then just, I don't know, put it down the chimney and played it.
Open and shut case,
We
Johnson.
figured it out.
That bitch did it.
It would be really funny, by the way, if she was actually directly responsible for supernatural reasons. Like, she could astral project some fucked up Texas saloon into their house. Like, because she was so mad.
She's like,
she's
okay,
just
corral,
there with-
okay,
yeah, she's
corral,
like,
okay, corral. Like, yeah.
Rubbing her crystals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Marianne Williamson.
It is.
Yeah.
Eventually, obviously no one believed that she did it. Although I don't hate that theory.
Yeah. Let's not just throw that out.
Right. Is she in the lead?
Let's keep that in the mix.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll hear
I want to table that.
Okay.
I want to
All right,
table
we'll
Put a pin
table
in
it
it.
that she could astral project. That's fine. Eventually, the Rose moved, and the story lost its heat. You know, other stuff was going on. Jack the Ripper, that type of thing. So, Jack the Ripper, he's a baseball player, just ripped singles all the time.
RBI.
RBI
Hits
Jack
leader?
is his other nickname for him.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Jack and Hack Wilson and Jack the Ripper. Hack and Jack.
You guys are really doing a lot of throwbacks to
An episode that has not aired yet.
Well, a lot of people won't listen to it.
Yeah, that too.
good. Yeah.
Perfect.
Lucky you, Patreon people.
So the mystery of the Chicago Ghost Rager remains unsolved. There is perhaps another, but I guess also supernatural explanation. So you guys only know the band Linkin Park. You don't really know the neighborhood Linkin Park.
it is a park, yes.
There's a park, and there's also the neighborhood around it. It's called Lincoln Park.
Okay, like Hyde Park.
Yes, exactly.
Well, in the end, it doesn't really matter anymore.
God damn it. I knew as I was writing this that you guys were going to make Linkin Park jokes, and I knew I was going to cringe through them. And here we are.
Did you just
Don't turn your
not
back
like that album with Jay-Z?
Ugh, that's the worst thing. And it plays all the time on the radio here, too, that one song. With Jay-Z, the famous one.
Numb?
I don't
Encore?
fucking know. I don't know. Anyway,
Can I get an encore?
fun. Yeah, that's the one.
Do you want
Fun
more?
fact about Lincoln Park.
He sure doesn't.
No. Lincoln Park is one of the best places to live in Chicago, one of the nicest places. Anyone who's familiar with Chicago is like, oh, fuck, you live in Lincoln Park? Dope.
I just saw the worst fucking joke.
Just say it. Just go for
It's
it.
like, yeah, until those spooks moved in. Because they're spooky ghosts.
Because they're spooky ghosted.
Yeah, no, God, it's terrible.
Well, as it
man.
turns out, Lincoln Park is full of spooks.
I didn't even have the worst joke this episode. So.
Sorry.
Lincoln Park is full of spooks. Because
And ghouls.
what people don't realize is that prior to the Great Chicago Fire, what Lincoln Park was mostly known for was not being a park at all. It was not a park in any way. It was Chicago's main city cemetery.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah. To this day, under Lincoln Park, the park, there are up to 10,000 unmarked graves underneath the soil of Chicago's Central Park, basically. And they would have moved them. They were planning on moving them, but the Great Chicago Fire of 1871 burned most of the wooden grave markers, so they had no idea where the graves were. They weren't about to dig up every inch of it, so they just left literally tens of thousands of dead bodies underneath their main civic park
Well,
and
that's why you
fancy
don't go
neighborhood.
cheap on the burial.
Yeah.
Come on.
There was no such thing as an expensive burial, I guess, for these people.
It was more of a landfill for bodies at this point.
I mean, if you're making a crucifix out of wood, it's not,
What, are you carving the name with a knife?
I mean, literally, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe painting it on.
Well, crucifix made out of wood is, accurate.
Yes. So a lot of wooden crosses got burned up in the Great Chicago Fire. And again, to this day, tens of thousands of bodies underneath that park, which is haunted as shit. And the neighborhood is as well. According to local Chicago parapsychologist Ursula Bielski, take that title for what it's worth, she says Lincoln Park is without a doubt the most active site I've investigated. She cited activity both visual and auditory. It manifests itself in heavy atmospheres and physical effects like lightheadedness and nausea.
Now, this went into full effect 101 years into Chicago's existence.
What?
Once they hit the 100-year mark, that's when all the hunting started.
I guess, but this house was haunted in Lincoln Park prior to.
The 100-year mark.
Yeah.
I can actually tell you when Chicago was. So, Chicago was incorporated or whatever in 1837, but my guess is it was actually probably settled before that.
Well, before that, I would imagine.
I would guess, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. History. In the mid-18th, I didn't look this up because I
That
don't
should
care.
be our tagline.
In 1803, the U.S. Army built Fort Dearborn. This was destroyed in 1812.
So
At the Battle of Fort Dearborn, there was a War of 1812 battle there. So,
What was the fort?
Fort Dearborn.
So Chicago started as a fort,
Yes. Like many.
like every other city?
So in 1795, an area that was to be part of Chicago was turned over to the U.S. for a military post by native tribes. And then in 1803, the Army built Fort Dearborn. So we're still under the
100-year mark.
100-year mark.
Yeah. No
So
ghosts until 1903.
1903, the very earliest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Myth busted.
Yeah.
So you don't buy the fact that Lincoln Park is literally living out the fucking plot to Poltergeist?
Not yet.
built on top of a
Not
graveyard.
during this period.
Not
no.
during the well now.
Wait,
but
so
not
you
during.
buy the fucking Rochester, New York theory that it needs to have 100 years to cook?
Yeah, that seems plausible.
That is your theory. God, that
Bake it
would
at
love that.
350,
Yeah,
100 years.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, how many times do we have to discuss this? Hall of Fame. You have to wait it out.
So ghosts are the good ones, like the ones worthy of
The
haunting.
goats, yeah.
You get to go back to this plane, smoke cigars. Sick. What an afterlife. Yeah, fuck that.
But yeah, that is all I got. The haunting.
Wait, that's it?
That's the story, huh?
That's the
There's no rational explanation that you
Nope.
could have found.
Nope.
That's
Dozens,
it?
Dozens of people witnessed this. No rational explanation
That is
was
bullshit.
ever provided.
None of that ever happened.
And that house.
No one experienced the fucking thing. You know
and that
why?
house does not even exist anymore.
Of course it doesn't, because this place is fucking fake. This never happened.
The
None of it
The
happened.
ghost party happened.
No, it didn't.
It did.
No.
Prove it.
It did. And what
Prove that
happened
it
was-
didn't.
No, that's not how proving things works. I'm saying it was a fucking rag story, dude. None of this happened.
This guy didn't want people to know about it.
That's a lie. You can lie about not wanting things too.
No. All right, so
That's bullshit. I
we're
fucking
gonna
hate this
we're gonna
story.
go back.
I fucking hate this episode. I'm gonna be honest
We're
with you.
going back to old business. It was the old owner.
Okay,
underneath the
I'm
floorboards.
willing to dive into that. Like,
Underneath the floorboards, putting on a show. And she probably had, she had a record player.
I hate this so much. God, I fucking hate this. I'm sorry. I know you were excited about it. I don't know why, but she had it under a floorboard. Whatever. One, no.
Why?
I mean, I get that one the most.
You got a better theory?
No, the only two things he said could have been possible were supernatural reasons. No one had a rational explanation for this.
Must have been ghosts.
Must have been. Well, I don't believe
When
it
you
does.
can't explain it rationally, you must seek out the irrational explanation.
No, you don't.
So what
You
actually?
call it bullshit and move on.
What stands there now?
You know what? I looked it up. It's
Because if it was a fraternity house, then it could be a ripple through
I would
time and space.
actually believe it more if it was a fraternity house.
Yeah. Because then it could just be like a.
What if it's a future back?
It's a wormhole.
Ooh,
Yeah.
like that one. Even
I'm
though that's
sure.
also just another supernatural explanation. That's bullshit. But
Look, I'm just telling you, it
They've
was
opened up
ghosts, and you
wormholes.
need to fucking deal with the fact. So it was at 394 Belden Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. I'm pulling it up right now. I looked it up earlier. It was just like a bunch of like restaurants and like an office building or something in the middle of Lincoln Park.
it's Chili's.
I wish. That'd be rad. There is still a park across the street, which means it's full of dead bodies. So yeah, I mean, here's the intersection where it would have been. Actually, this might be the building.
That looks haunted as shit.
Oh, boom. Yeah, so that might just not be a house anymore. And then actually that's more of an apartment. That probably is past that time period. And then the other one's a new
How do you spell row?
ROWE. So yeah, ghosts are real. And a bunch of ghosts had a party in this house that summer. I think it was more like
It also doesn't seem that bad.
It was
Why
it
were
was-
they bitching?
I know. It was like American Pie 2, right? They rented a lake house for the summer, partied all the time.
Sorry, they got medieval times of ghost hauntings. They had a show every night.
I mean, they listened to someone get murdered.
Yeah, but okay.
They were already dead.
They were also
at
like
the time. What else are you gonna do? What's your entertainment option?
right.
You had a free show every night, like you said.
Quit bitching. Maybe that's why he didn't want to tell anyone.
Well,
He
they
didn't
were
want
also,
people over.
they'd like shake doors. They'd grab doors and shake them and shit and wake them up
it's
and
an
stuff.
immersive
Couldn't get sleep.
experience.
Yeah.
How's this man supposed
Sorry, the haunt was too real.
It's like they had their own Disney World.
They got the haunted mansion every night.
Yes.
to? Jake, you don't believe so hard that it makes me think that you're afraid to believe.
Afraid to believe this shit? No.
Or like, what are you hiding?
Yeah.
You part of this?
You into this? You into this stuff?
Your family been covering this up?
Goldman's, yeah. We hide bad ghost story. What's the through line there? I'm missing it.
Maybe the journalist that wrote this,
The New York Post
Was
headline
it JOO?
Yeah, the New York Post headline for this is Goldman lacks, Jew doesn't believe in plausible ghost story.
I'm trying to look for a better explanation here.
There's none because it's ghosts.
Your last couple episodes have kind of fucked my day up, actually. Karahan Tepe
Yeah.
and this. I'm going to research this now just to be like, what the fuck
There's
was it?
not a lot of firsthand. I literally there's the
So
story.
it's all anecdotal.
No, it's all really just great evidence.
Actually, what is an anecdotal from that period?
Right.
Everything's anecdotal. Gonna bow out.
Not a lot of video evidence. See, Jake just argued himself into a corner. He is now trapped there. We have once again proven that ghosts exist. Who's the Hitler of today's episode?
You.
We actually had a review that said all three of us are Hitler.
Yeah, that was my second place.
Whoa. Why? What'd we do?
Made a terrible podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. We say mean
We
things.
waste an hour of their
Every week.
I hope we have hate listeners. God, I hope we do.
Look,
I'm sure there's
the difference
dozens.
between a hate
Yeah.
click and a click is nothing.
That's right.
That check still cashes.
Yeah,
That's right, baby.
hate reading is just paying someone that you hate.
Yeah.
Who's the Hitler in this episode? I think it is the doctor, who is also a pastor, who, couldn't take care of his own house.
I'm going to say the Rochester, New York magazine or whatever that was
It's,
100 years.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
fuck
going
you.
with the asshole who wrote whatever in the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle to be like, no, you need 100 years. Like he just, I respect him just making it up.
At least he's
'cause
trying.
he's- okay.
No, he's trying to establish just kind of a guideline.
I think he was trying to
It's from
establish.
his ass. Like, it doesn't matter if he's trying to. Like, it's like saying, oh, no, man, it's getting hotter because the sun's getting bigger. Like, is it? I don't know. It just sounds right.
Well, disprove him.
That's actually not totally inaccurate. It does get hotter because the sun gets what appears to be bigger because, you're part of the hemisphere or closer.
You notice how you preface that with what appears to be big? The sun isn't expanding like
What do you
rapidly.
expect these fucking monkey people to know?
Well, the universe is constantly expanding.
Well, that's true. But there's a difference between expansion and growth, isn't there?
You tell me.
The hustle.
Word.
What'd you guys learn today?
Nothing. You're Hitler, I learned nothing.
Ghosts are real. I learned ghosts are real and they like to party.
I would love to go to a ghost party.
If I'm going to have a ghost, I might as well have this as my ghost.
Right? Like, don't you want to hear two, brawlers in a saloon
Yeah,
instead
they're
of,
not-
some sad old widow,
just crying.
Oh,
Yeah.
my baby died.
Like
ugh,
we're like a banshee.
ugh, I know.
Oh.
You don't want
no.
that.
No.
People just fucking wrecked their cars again. Driving down the highway hearing that banshee screech.
That's fine.
I love it.
Yeah, again, they're essentially going to Arizona and just going to kind of like a Wild West shootout.
If ghosts were real, no one could live in the southeast United States. I'm sorry.
Just going to 310 to Yuma every night.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
God, if ghosts were real, London would be a nightmare.
Ghosts, well, A, ghosts are real, and B, we need to stay in a haunted place soon.
Oh,
for
I'm
a
down.
show.
I am so down.
London would be a nightmare with ghosts because it would be overcrowded.
Yeah, real population issues.
Too many ghosts.
Although I liked, you guys haven't watched The Haunting of Hill House, have you?
Oh, yeah, I have.
You have. What was the second season of that? It was The Haunting of Bly Manor. Was that it?
Oh, that one sucked.
It was not as good, but I did like their theory that ghosts just fade away over time. Remember, they lost their faces and
They kind of slowly bleed out the less
Yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
I
remember
like
them
to
and shit like
think
that.
all ghosts throughout time have to commute to work, get on the
They
train.
got to clock in for ghosting.
They got to get on the train.
It's like Monsters Inc., but
Yeah.
ghosts. That's a great Pixar movie.
I think it would be.
Yeah,
You mean that movie that talks about how the world's fueled by the screams of children?
yeah.
Fucking stay
But
woke,
just
dude.
imagine the ghosts getting on public transit, like Asia, just being jammed into the trains and
They're
buses.
trying to push them in, but they
Yeah.
can't because they're,
The hands go right
transparent,
through 'em,
right.
yeah.
Well, that's all I got for today. I'm proud to have convinced you both that ghosts are real.
Yeah, great job.
Still don't believe in ghosts.
Well, you will when we stay at a haunted place.
Gettysburg.
Well, pick one. Pick one. I will be there.
Okay. Yeah, we might do Gettysburg because
We talked about
Megan, who listens, she has friends who work in the park service there.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I need to hang out. I want to hang out in Devil's Den at night.
All right,
yeah.
so October, obviously, during
I can't. do
Well,
October.
yeah, because we can't do July. It'd have to be that or when the battle happened, and that's in a month.
we have an entire month dedicated to these kind of
Yeah, spooky month.
yeah.
But sometimes the activity is stronger when
It's Halloween Horror Month.
I know, but sometimes the activity is stronger when the event happened, and the Battle of Gettysburg is in less than a month actually. But so yeah,
Why don't we just go somewhere else haunted?
yeah, we'll go somewhere else haunted first. We'll work
There's
our way
got to be a
up.
haunted place. I mean, we could just go down to the Driscoll for all intents and
Right.
purposes.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, that is all I got for Jake Goldman and Dan Regester. I am their fellow believer, Rob Fox, and
You just got soft served.